Welcome back to Roy and Anto Get Intimate. Sloppy seconds. And it's also the second take, so there's a big second theme going on at the moment.
Second.
So, this time we're discussing Ceres and their fairy tale run in the Smart National Club Championship. They beat Stallion in the first round, and now they've just beaten Global in the quarterfinals. Few have predicted this, the provincial team coming over and defeating the league champions, UFL league champions. How have they managed to do this, Anto? How have they surprised everyone?
For me, I'm just a bit surprised because I know that Ceres is a strong team from Bacolod. They've been winning numerous titles in Bacolod, and they have a lot of money. They acquired a lot of foreign players, 2 English players, and a couple of Korean players who are technically very good. But what's surprising for me is the way they organize themselves, considering the minimal preparation that they had together as a team. But overall, I'm really impressed with how they play, their organization, defensively especially, and I think they have the right players in the right positions, so that's very important for them.
Yeah, and they've managed to do so without conceding a goal so far. They've beat both Stallion and Global 1-0. And up next for them will be Kaya, which will be another big test. They've really had to do it the hard way in 3 of the top 4 teams, of the Manila teams that they've had to go through. Who should we look out for against Kaya? Who are the danger men for Ceres?
For Ceres,
they've really been able to make them beat the best teams around so far.
Of course, their forward Long, the English forward, he scored the only goal against Global, which was a fantastic goal. I think he's the key in their attack. He can hold the ball up front and wait for the supporting players to come over. He opens up the flanks by holding onto the ball. They also have very fast wingers. So one thing I like about Ceres is they know their style of play, and they really play to their strengths.
And for them, they're coming from Bacolod, the traditional home for football, really, in Iloilo and Bacolod. Of the Philippines. How much would it mean for not just the people there, but for Philippine football generally, if they could take out the best teams that Manila have to offer, who really get most of the press, they get most of the spotlight? What would it mean for them to even win the competition?
It's gonna be good for football only. I mean, the attention has been centralized in the UFL, yeah, in the clubs based here in the NCR. So Ceres is a team in the outside looking in, and for them to win the cup, it's gonna provide a big boost to the national scene. Maybe a couple of provincial clubs would be encouraged also by their achievement, yeah. And that will be a good motivating factor for the other clubs in the provinces.
And how do you think they'll be able to do that? They're up against Kaya, who are a very solid team defensively. They beat Loyola 1-0 to get through, holding out typically the top scorers in basically every UFL competition. How will they be able to break them down? What are the keys to victory for them?
For Ceres, I think they just have to remain organized defensively, which they have done in their past 2 games. They remind me a lot they remind me of Stallions a lot. How they organize defensively and how they counter attack, and I guess they just have to check the top forwards of Kaya, who are Nate Berkey, Eric Dagro, and OJ Porteria, and then check them on the counter.
I've also heard it said that they're starting to pay quite a lot as well for their players. They're giving them good money. So it's does this suggest that there's a possibility of football growing bigger than that? Will the UFL be able to grow bigger than just Manila, for example? Do you think that in the coming years they'll be able to expand further towards the provinces, towards these areas?
It actually depends on the people who have money and they're willing to shell out their funds to support football, to promote the sport. What the Jansons have done in Bacolod is really inspirational, because even without marketing, even without media mileage, they have been really putting a lot of money into football because it's their passion. So let's just hope that a couple more supporters of football would do the same and contribute to the promotion of the sport and to growing the league bigger.
Do you think they'll be able to join the league then? A couple of years, 2-3 years maybe?
Yeah, most definitely. But of course, they have to go through the second division first, and I hope that they do so. Yeah. And because they wouldn't find it difficult to top the second division. They're a very strong team, and they would be a very good addition to the first division.
So predictions then against Kaya. How do you think that Ceres will fare against them?
This is a tough one to call. I like Ceres' chances because I'm really very impressed with their organization, and I'm impressed with their top forward and their central defender, this other English player. They are both leaders, and
kudos to the English.
And of course, their supporting cast of Korean players and Filipino players who are mostly Ilonggos. They really complement each other. So I like that a lot about them. With Kaya, they're a bit undermanned. They're missing Anton. Probably Anton won't be able to play because of his injury. Jason Sabio has left. Ali hasn't been playing yet. But the way they played against Meralco, they showed a lot of heart. They were very tough on defense. The left back, this is a young player, was able to contain the Korean winger of Meralco, and even the right back was able to contain Phil. So I think defensively they're in good shape. And in offense, there's OJ Porteria, there's Nate Berkey, and Eric Dagro. But in terms of organization, I like Ceres better.
So no specific prediction, no specific
prediction.
Scoreline,
Maybe 1-0 Ceres.
1-0 Ceres again. So a third time in a row if they manage to do that. So to catch them, you can check them out online. Find out the schedule for that one. Ceres versus Kaya in the semi-final. Congratulations to them for knocking out the league champions in the quarter-final, for knocking out the UFL Cup champions in the first, at the home stadium in Panahad as well, which is good. So maybe even if they get to the final, it might be good to even host a final there, as a tribute to that. So congratulations, Ceres, the football team rather than our producer, of course. So check them out. You follow us for more at FTW Sports.